but you're always practicing.
That's because I'm talented. Spot who? That library boyfriend of yours. You're obsessed with my reactions. Nah, you're just cute.
Welcome home, noble hearts. Shall we?
The problem with secret relationships was that secrets liked to be seen, especially at Montclair Academy. The first kiss happened 3 nights later, and honestly, it was Ezra's fault. Mostly. Kind of. Maybe. Zion sat cross-legged on Ezra's dorm floor, pretending to study while actually losing a fight against basic statistics homework. "This shit is evil," he muttered. Ezra looked up from his own notes. "It's literally graphs. Exactly. That sentence doesn't even make sense. Neither do numbers." Ezra laughed quietly while walking over. "Move." Zion leaned back against the bed, watching Ezra kneel beside him. Close. Way too close. Ezra smelled like vanilla coffee and laundry detergent, which shouldn't have been distracting. But unfortunately, everything about him distracted Zion lately. "You solve it like this," Ezra explained softly while writing across the paper. Zion nodded slowly, not listening at all. Instead, he watched the concentration on Ezra's face. The tiny crease between his brows. The way his braids slipped slightly beside his cheek. Pretty. Again, always pretty. Zion. You're staring. Damn, I can't help it. The words slipped out before he could stop them. Ezra looked up slowly, and there it was again. That tension. That terrifying, impossible tension. "You flirt a lot," Ezra whispered. "You hate it?" "No." Silence. Then, very softly, "Not at all." Zion's heart nearly exploded. "Ezra." The boy looked nervous now. Really nervous. But he didn't move away, which felt important. Very important. "You can tell me to stop," Zion said quietly. Ezra shook his head immediately. That tiny motion shattered whatever restraint Zion still had left. He kissed him gently. Soft, careful, like he was scared Ezra might disappear. Zion pulled away, breathing hard. "Damn," he whispered. Ezra hid his face instantly. "Oh my God. What? I can't believe I just did that." Zion started laughing softly. "Nah, come here." Ezra refused to uncover his face. "You're embarrassing. You literally kissed me back." "I know," Ezra groaned. "That was the best part." Ezra finally looked up again. His lips looked swollen, eyes soft, cheeks flushed, and Zion realized immediately he was absolutely screwed, because there was no coming back from this. None. "You know what the crazy part is?" Zion murmured. "What?" "I've been wanting to do that for weeks." Ezra blinked slowly. "Seriously?" "Ezra." Zion laughed weakly. "You thought I kept coming to the library for books?" That made Ezra laugh into his hands again. And honestly, Zion wanted to hear that sound for the rest of his life, which was probably another problem. A huge one, actually. But for the first time in forever, he didn't care. The rain outside Ezra's dorm room hadn't stopped for hours. Soft thunder rolled somewhere far beyond Montclair Academy, while dim golden light spilled across tangled blankets, abandoned textbooks, and 2 boys sitting dangerously close together on the edge of a bed. Zion's hand rested carefully against Ezra's waist. Not rushing, not demanding, just holding him there like he mattered, like he was something precious. And honestly, that tenderness alone was making Ezra lose his mind. "You still okay?" Zion asked quietly. Ezra nodded, but his voice still came out soft when he answered. "Yeah." Zion searched his face carefully anyway. That was one thing Ezra noticed about him quickly. For somebody so loud around everyone else, Zion became unbelievably gentle during moments that mattered. Like he was terrified of hurting people. Especially Ezra. You know, Ezra murmured nervously. You ask that every 5 minutes. Because I care every 5 minutes. That answer hit way too hard. Ezra looked away immediately, and Zion smiled softly. There go that shy shit again. Be quiet. You're cute when you blush. I'm literally just smiling. Really? Ezra covered his face while Zion laughed quietly against his shoulder. God, that laugh. Warm, deep, safe. Everything about tonight felt unreal somehow. Like they existed outside Montclair Academy for once. Outside gossip. Outside expectations. Outside the version of themselves the world demanded every day. Just Ezra and Zion. The room felt quiet again. Not awkward, just heavy with feeling. Zion brushed his thumb slowly against Ezra's hip beneath his shirt, while staring at him with an expression so soft it almost hurt to look at. You keep staring, Ezra whispered. Can you blame me? Yes, liar. Ezra tried not to smile. Failed instantly. And Zion's face changed the second it appeared. Like that tiny smile did something dangerous to him every time. Come here, he murmured softly. Ezra barely had time to breathe before Zion kissed him again. Slow at first. Careful. But the kiss deepened almost immediately. Weeks of tension finally unraveling between them. Ezra melted against him with a quiet sound that made Zion's restraint snap clean in half. Damn, Zion whispered against his mouth. Ezra's fingers tightened in his hoodie. The kisses turned warmer, needier, hands wandering slowly beneath clothing while rain filled the silence around them. Every touch felt deliberate, learning, as if both of them were trying to memorize the other before the world could interrupt. Zion pushed Ezra gently backward against the mattress without breaking the kiss, his larger frame settling carefully between Ezra's legs. The movement sent heat rushing through Ezra so fast it almost embarrassed him. You sure about this? Zion asked again softly. Even now, even like this? Ezra stared up at him breathlessly before nodding. Yes. Zion kissed him slower after that. Like the answer mattered. Like Ezra mattered. And somehow that made everything feel even more intimate. Their clothes slowly disappeared piece by piece onto the dorm room floor. Soft laughter between nervous hands and stolen kisses. At one point, Zion accidentally got stuck trying to pull his hoodie over his head too fast, nearly falling sideways off the bed. Ezra laughed so hard, he had tears in his eyes. Don't laugh, Zion groaned dramatically from inside the hoodie. This is a vulnerable moment. You look ridiculous. Wow. And here I thought this relationship was built on trust. That word. Relationship. Ezra's chest squeezed painfully warm. Eventually, the laughter faded back into softer touches. Softer kisses. And then, silence. Not empty silence. The kind filled with racing heartbeats and nervous breathing. Zion rested his forehead gently against Ezra's. You're beautiful, he whispered again. The sincerity in his voice almost undid Ezra completely. Nobody had ever looked at him like this before. Not with hunger softened by affection. Not like he was wanted and cherished at the same time. Ezra touched Zion's face carefully. You get really sweet when you stop trying to impress people. Zion smiled weakly. Only person I want to impress right now is you. The honesty in that sentence settled heavily between them. Ezra kissed him again before he could think too hard about it. And after that, things stopped feeling nervous. The movements became instinctive, natural. Bodies pulling closer beneath dim lights while rain painted the windows silver around them. Zion moved like somebody trying to worship instead of conquer, taking Ezra passionately. Slow hands, Patient touches, steady thrusting as he savored the tight feeling that made him feel like a virgin again. Constant whispered questions, making sure he's not hurting Ezra. Every answer Ezra gave only made Zion softer somehow. More careful, more affectionate. The intimacy became overwhelming in the best possible way as they both climaxed. Because it wasn't just physical. It was Zion kissing every hidden lonely part of him too. The parts Ezra spent years pretending didn't need anybody. And when Zion finally held him close enough that there was no space left between them, Ezra understood something terrifying. He could fall in love with this boy, for real. The realization hit hardest when Zion whispered his name against his skin like it meant something sacred. Ezra, not teased, not joked, felt, and God, that nearly shattered him. The rain outside grew heavier while the room filled with quiet breathing. Tangled limbs, soft curses, and whispered reassurances spoken into warm skin. Nothing rushed, nothing careless. Just two boys discovering each other slowly beneath the weight of all the things they'd been denying for far too long. At some point, Ezra buried his face against Zion's shoulder, trying unsuccessfully to hide how overwhelmed he felt. Zion noticed immediately. "You okay?" Ezra laughed weakly against his skin. "You ask too many questions, and you avoid answering them. I'm happy." The confession slipped out accidentally, but Zion stilled instantly after hearing it. Completely still. Ezra pulled back slightly. "What?" Zion looked at him with an expression so open it almost hurt. "Nobody ever says stuff like that around me." The vulnerability in his voice made Ezra's chest ache, because suddenly he understood. People loved Zion Carter loudly, publicly, but they didn't always love him gently. Not like this. Not in quiet moments where there was nothing to gain from it. Ezra touched his cheek softly. "Well," he whispered, "I'm saying it." Something emotional flickered across Zion's face too quickly to fully hide. Then he kissed Ezra again with enough feeling behind it to steal the rest of the air from the room. Afterward, they stayed tangled together beneath the blankets while thunder rolled softly outside. Ezra rested against Zion's chest, listening to his heartbeat slowly calm down. For once, neither of them felt like outsiders. Neither of them felt lonely. And maybe that was the truly dangerous part. Not the secrecy, not the risk, not even the possibility of getting caught. No, the dangerous part was this feeling growing quietly between them. This terrifying soft thing neither of them knew how to control anymore. Zion brushed his fingers lazily through Ezra's hair while staring at the ceiling. "You know what's crazy?" he murmured sleepily. "What?" "I used to think people only liked me because I was useful." Ezra frowned slightly. "Zion, I'm serious," he laughed quietly. "Football, popularity, jokes, whatever." His fingers slowed in Ezra's hair. "But with you." He looked down finally, and Ezra's chest tightened at the emotion sitting openly in his eyes. "With you, I feel wanted even when I got nothing to offer." Silence filled the room. Heavy, tender, real. Then Ezra leaned up carefully and kissed him once. Soft, certain. "You were never hard to love," he whispered. And judging by the way Zion held him tighter after that, those words might have changed something inside him forever. For a while, Zion convinced himself they were careful. Careful enough. Late-night library visits. Hidden kisses in empty classrooms. Hand brushing beneath cafeteria tables where nobody could see. Private smiles during football games. The kind of secret relationship that felt invisible because both people wanted it badly enough. And honestly, maybe they would have survived longer if Zion hadn't started looking at Ezra like he hung the damn moon. That was the problem. Not the kissing. Not sneaking into each other's dorm rooms. Not even the stolen nights tangled together beneath warm blankets while rain hit the academy windows. No, the problem was love. Because love made people careless. Bro, Zion blinked during practice. Marcus stood beside him, looking deeply disturbed. You good? You've been smiling at your phone for the last 15 minutes like a love-sick puppy. The football team immediately erupted. Zion shoved Marcus away while laughing. Y'all irritating as hell. But who texting you, though? Marcus pressed. Nobody. That smile says otherwise. Zion rolled his eyes dramatically before locking his phone. Too late. Because hidden briefly on the screen before it disappeared was Ezra. Specifically, a blurry picture Zion secretly took in the library earlier that week while Ezra wasn't paying attention. Ezra sitting cross-legged beside a window with sunlight hitting his glasses while reading quietly. Pretty. Always pretty. And Zion smiled every time he looked at it. Captain in love. Somebody sang loudly. Eat shit, Zion muttered. But he was still smiling. And unfortunately, somebody else noticed too. Selena hated being ignored, especially by Zion. At first, she blamed football, then stress, then maybe herself. But eventually, she started noticing patterns. The late replies, the distracted conversations, the way Zion smiled at his phone before catching himself, the random disappearances when they're spending time together, and most importantly, the way his eyes unconsciously searched for somebody in the stands during football games. Somebody who wasn't her. You're doing it again, Selena said one afternoon while sitting beside Zion outside the gymnasium. You keep looking over there. Zion frowned slightly. Looking where? Selena followed his gaze across campus, straight toward Ezra Beaumont leaving the library. And suddenly, everything clicked into place with horrifying clarity. The silence stretched too long. Zion realized too late. Selena stared at him slowly. No, his stomach dropped instantly. Selena? No way. Look, it's not. Are you serious right now? Nearby students glanced over curiously at the sudden tension in her voice. Zion stood quickly. Lower your voice. Selena laughed sharply. You like him? Selena. Oh my God. Her expression twisted between anger and disbelief. You actually like him. It's complicated. That's not a no. Zion ran a hand over his face. Can we talk privately? But honestly, it was already too late. Because Montclair Academy survived off gossip, the same way lungs survived off oxygen. And people were already staring, whispering, recording. The rumors spread through campus before dinner. By nighttime, students were already posting theories online. By morning, everybody knew, or thought they did. The final confrontation happened Friday. Publicly, violently, humiliatingly. Zion had just finished football practice when he entered the student center and immediately felt something was wrong. Too quiet. Way too quiet. Students stood clustered together, whispering while phones glowed in people's hands. Then he saw Selena, standing near the middle of the room holding his phone. And Zion's blood ran cold instantly. Ezra stood nearby looking pale, terrified, heartbroken. What the fuck is this? Selena demanded loudly. The entire room froze. Zion moved quickly toward her. Selena? She held the phone up before he could reach her and aired out everything she could see, occasionally holding it out so the people nearby could see too. Pictures, messages, videos, kisses, late-night selfies. One specific video of Zion laughing while Ezra tried to hide his face on Zion's bare chest. The room exploded. Yo, what the fuck? Ain't no way. Captain? Phones immediately lifted everywhere. Recording, watching, hungry. Ezra looked like he couldn't breathe. And Zion? Zion panicked. Not normal panic. Real panic. The kind that crawled into your throat and choked rational thought. Clean out your body. because suddenly he saw everything collapsing at once. Football, gifts, reputation, his mother depending on him, his siblings, everything. Tell them, Selena snapped, rage masking her face. Tell them what this is. Silence. Ezra looked at Zion desperately. Not angry, just scared, trusting him. And God, that made it worse. Zion, Ezra whispered softly. One word. That was all. But the entire room waited, watching. Zion's chest tightened painfully. Then, he made the worst decision of his life. What are you talking about? The room went dead silent. Ezra froze. Selena stared at him in disbelief. What? Zion forced a laugh that sounded completely unnatural. This dude been obsessed with me for months. Each word felt like swallowing broken glass. But I never touched him. We all know how smart he is. He probably did this with AI. Then hacked my phone and planted everything there. Ezra's face changed instantly. Not dramatic. Not loud. Just broken. Completely broken. Zion, he whispered again, this time sounding smaller. Hurt. The room erupted around them. I knew it. Yo, that's embarrassing as hell. Beaumont really made fake messages? Nah, you crazy for this? Somebody laughed loudly. Another person called Ezra pathetic. And Zion stood there letting it happen. Because fear had turned him into a coward. Ezra stared at him for several seconds, like he genuinely didn't recognize him anymore. Then slowly, very slowly, he nodded, like something inside him finally shattered. Okay, he whispered. That word hurt more than yelling would have. Ezra looked at Zion one last time before walking away while students whispered around him like vultures. Zion almost followed. Almost. But he didn't, and that moment would haunt him forever. The next few days destroyed Ezra Beaumont quietly. Nobody physically bullied him. Montclair Academy students were too image-conscious for that. But emotional cruelty? They mastered that shit beautifully. People laughed when he entered the room, whispered loudly enough for him to hear, moved away from him in classrooms, stopped speaking entirely when he walked by. Even teachers, apart from one, looked uncomfortable now. And the worst part? Zion avoided him too. Not because he wanted to, because he hated himself too much to face what he'd done. Even Marcus, who was Zion's best friend despite him being younger, seemed to hate Zion for what he'd done. He wanted to comfort Ezra, but he had his own skeleton in the closet he had been hiding. And even though he didn't care what people thought, he wasn't sure if he was ready to reveal it. Yet, Ezra stopped going to the library eventually, stopped attending meals, stopped existing. The loneliness became unbearable. Then one morning, his dorm room was empty. Ezra Beaumont had withdrawn from Montclair Academy. Just like that. Gone. The holidays arrived 2 weeks later. Snow covered parts of the city, while Montclair Academy emptied out almost completely. Zion sat alone in his dorm room staring at his phone. Unread messages filled the screen. All sent by him. None answered. I'm sorry. Please talk to me. Ezra, please. I panicked. I didn't mean it. Please. Nothing. Every message ignored. Every call unanswered. And honestly, Zion deserved it. Marcus leaned against the doorway, watching him carefully. You look terrible. I feel terrible. Marcus sighed. Why did you lie? Zion laughed bitterly. I panicked. Silence. Then quietly, you loved him? That question shattered whatever composure Zion still had left. Because love? Love wasn't even the scary part anymore. The scary part was realizing he destroyed the first person who ever truly saw him. Yeah, he whispered brokenly. I did. I still do, with all my being. Marcus stared at him for a long moment before muttering, then fight for him. I know I would, 'cause I'd kill to have a fraction of the love y'all had. It's too dark in the closet, bro. Trust me, I know that all too well." Then Marcus turned around and walked away, leaving Zion speechless. Home felt smaller than Zion remembered. The apartment smelled like cooking oil and laundry detergent, while his younger siblings argued loudly in the living room over a video game. Normally, the noise comforted him. Tonight, it just made him tired. His mother noticed immediately. "What happened?" Zion looked up from the kitchen table slowly. "I think I ruined the best thing that has ever happened to me." Her expression softened instantly. "Oh, baby." That nearly broke him. Everything spilled out after that. The relationship, the fear, the outing, the denial, the look on Ezra's face afterward. Zion cried halfway through the story. Actually cried. His mother moved beside him immediately. "Oh, Zion." "I heard him," he whispered. "I heard him so bad." His mother held his face gently, noticing that he didn't say her. "Do you love him?" Zion nodded without hesitation now. "Yes." "Then why are you ashamed of him?" The question hit hard. Because honestly, he didn't know anymore. Fear, maybe. Habit. Survival. His mother sighed softly. "Baby, this world is already hard enough. Don't let real love pass you by because you're scared of people talking. I raised you to only care about what you think of yourself, not what everyone else thinks." Zion broke completely after that. And for the first time in his life, he admitted the truth out loud. "I'm bisexual." His mother blinked once, then kissed his forehead. "Okay." Zion stared at her. "Okay. You still my son no matter what, and I'll always love and support you. Don't ever be ashamed of who you are, because God made you exactly the way you're supposed to be." And God. That sentence healed something inside him instantly. 3 days later, Zion found Ezra's address hidden inside an old-school emergency contact directory. And by sunset, he was standing outside a massive estate with shaking hands and tears already burning behind his eyes. Because now that he was finally here, he had no idea how to fix what he'd destroyed.
Don't forget to like, comment, turn on notifications so you're informed when a new crown drops, and please subscribe! Thank you.